Welcome to the Vermilion Podcast, a free audio library of business strategies, creative inspiration, and industry knowledge for actors, filmmakers, writers, and anyone looking to activate their creative potential. I'm Misha Calvert, a writer-director who helps artists build the careers that they dream of. I really hope that this podcast inspires you in some way. Thanks for tuning in. Part 2 of Email Marketing Secrets. Your subject line. You have identified your goal. You have identified your target market. You created a spreadsheet with the contact info of your target market. You found their emails and you've crafted your pitch. Now you are ready to create the subject line. If you don't have a good subject line, your email will not get opened. Your open rate and your engagement rate will be very low. And if someone doesn't even open your email, well, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a noise, your email is not going to get read. So make sure that subject line is good. If you were your own target market, what would it take to make you open that email? Put yourself in their shoes. Really have empathy for, okay, let's say if I'm an agent, I might get 2,000 emails a day. What would it take for me to open one of those emails from somebody that I don't know? Raises the bar pretty high because that subject line shouldn't be about you, the sender. It should be about solving a problem or piquing the interest of the reader. You can iterate on this as you go. I'll often start a huge email campaign with one version of something that gets better as I go, and I'm willing to let it change. I'm willing to pay attention as I'm writing or sending. And if something doesn't feel right after the 100th time I send it, I change it. And so I'm just really open and curious for what feels like the best draft of this thing that I'm sending out. And I let it change. Even if I've already sent like 80% of my list, if I stumble on the perfect subject line, then I'm going to send that for that last 20, because my goal is to get a result. I want to get a response from these people. So of course I'm happy to change and improve as I go. You can also A/B test. You start with one subject line. You're like, okay, I'm going to send 50% of this first batch with this subject line and 50% with a second subject line. So your A and your B, and you see which one performs better. If A performs better, that second half you go with A. And the one that was less effective, well, only 25% of people got it. So you're still winning, right? Some examples of subject line genres that work is something funny, something around a sale, like discount good for 3 more days or 1 spot left, auditions this weekend, that kind of thing. Anything novel, anything that's time-bound, also anything that is clickbaity, like Ryan Gosling did this and then booked Barbie, or has to do with either celebrity or this one thing will change your self-tapes forever. These actually work. They may feel cringe, but if it's boring, you're not going to open it. So that subject line better be good. Step 7, you got to send the emails. You got to. It's essential to an effective campaign. You actually have to send them. You can do this in a number of ways. If you're using Gmail to send your emails, you can actually add the Boomerang plugin, which tracks your emails. I like this because I want a response to my emails when I send them. And I usually try to send my emails within 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I never send on Fridays. People are usually busy or checked out for the weekend. So they're very likely wrapping out their week instead of opening new doors. They're trying to close doors. So I try to do Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I recommend doing your email campaign in 2 days maximum. Why? Because longer than that and what you're talking about might not be relevant after a certain amount of days have passed, but also it puts the pressure on you to just get it done. Sending emails by hand is the most effective and the least likely to send them to spam. If you're doing that from your Gmail, you can use Boomerang as a tracking plugin, but you can see if they open it and you can see if they click it. Mail merge is what creates those really long text-based emails where it's like no pictures, maybe some emojis, but it's like, whoa, did that person really write this? Because it says Dear Misha. So that email was probably made with a mail merge. So yet another mail merge is good for that. Feels intimate. It lets you write a lot. If you're a writer, that's probably going to be a format that feels good to you. I think it's $60 a year and very effective. People often open those. You can also use a CRM like MailChimp or Flowdesk. You have to pay for them, but they allow you access to really great designs and images that are going to elevate the look of your emails. So it's usually a few $100 a year, and I think it's well worth the investment if you're trying to run a real business. Step number 8, after you've sent your emails, sit back and relax. Maybe go outside, get away from your computer, go to the gym, do something nice for yourself. Something nice that doesn't have to do with looking at your computer and watching the results. It can really drive you crazy and it can be hurtful, especially when you see who unsubscribes. It's customary to get, with a cold email campaign, up to 20% unsubscribe rate immediately. So don't worry about them. Don't even look at them. I don't even want to look at them. I just want to send the email and then go away and not think about it. Step number 9, respond to all responses. Not just the ones that are nice, not just the good news. Respond to everything, even if they're neutral or like, no thanks. This is the process of building relationships and building goodwill. You might not have something that interests this person now, but maybe you will in the future. If someone comes back with a yes, you want to schedule a clear next step and calendar it. Give them a date and time when you're going to follow up next, or date and time for that meeting. Don't put the ball in their court. Make the offer and make it clear so that they can either say yes or say no. If anyone responds with hostility, if that does happen, and it happens to me like once a year, by the way, first you have to stop, read what you sent, and ask yourself genuinely, was anything in this offensive? If so, just change the pitch. You just didn't hit the mark. That's all. You were tone deaf, or you missed something, or you didn't think about something. Take the feedback, change the pitch, and move on. However, the likelihood is that your email was fine. Why? Because there's a lot of folks out there who, now more than ever, unfortunately, they're not mentally well. There's a lot of really intense emotions, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. So God bless. Anyone who responds with hostility to a simple professional email introduction is mentally unwell. Hey, this is America. You're entitled to send emails advertising your business. That's literally what email is for. I usually block and blacklist those people. I never respond to them. Don't worry about that. Chances are it's them and not you. Just stay the course. Step number 10 is working through your blocks. This is before, during, and after your email campaign. And this is the final step. Take a pen and paper, and if you can, write down these questions and answer them. What did this email campaign bring up for you? What was the hardest step of this email process? What are the fears that came up specifically? And what we're trying to do is take full responsibility for the parts where you are getting in your own way. Because as we've ascertained, there is nothing wrong with running an email campaign if you're running a business. So then what's left? Well, it's your fears and your blocks. Ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario here? What's the worst case for this email campaign? What's your plan for that worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario for this marketing campaign? And what's your plan for that best case scenario? Let's say it goes really, really well. What's your plan then? I've seen this with people who got into their first huge festival with a project and won that festival, and they didn't have a plan, and they didn't even have an email list. Well, that's almost as bad as getting no response at all, because then you've just wasted an opportunity. Are you prepared for that? because you're going to kick yourself if you're not. Finally, who can you talk to get support around this email marketing? Do you have some colleagues who can look at your drafts or look at your subject line? Or if it goes wrong, do you have people that you can come to tell you, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about those unsubscribes. You want emotional support, especially if you're new to email marketing, because it can feel very scary and very exposing. So make sure that you have people around you that can help you to get through this and to feel like you're not alone. Email campaigns have changed my life, and once I got over my fear, I became a better, more confident version of myself who was also a better communicator. These are the unexpected positive outcomes of embracing email marketing. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for joining me for parts 1 and 2 of the secrets of cold emails, because I have a feeling that you're going to really like email marketing. I have a feeling it's going to change your life. And if it does, I would like to hear from you. I want to know, and I can't wait to see you next week.
The Vermilion podcast is sponsored by Vermilion, a home for artists. We offer classes, coaching, and community for creatives and innovators in the arts. If you're ready to find your voice and build the life of your dreams, we're here to support you every step of the way. Check out clubvermilion.com and schedule a free call today.